1 asks us to name an angle complementary to angle COD. COD is right here. Complementary means adds to 90 degrees. So this angle right here adds to 90 degrees when added to COD. So that is angle BOC, or we can also name it angle COB. Remember, the O needs to be in the middle. Problem number 2 asks us to find the measure of angle B. Okay, we have to use a few different skills here. We know that these two angles form a straight line, so 180 minus 130 is going to give us 50 degrees. So this is 50 degrees. I know that this is a right angle, so it's 90 degrees. So 90 plus 50 degrees is 140 degrees. Well, I've got a triangle here. Triangle adds up to 180 degrees. So 180 minus 140 is going to leave me with 40 degrees remaining. So this is 40 degrees. Okay, I still can't find B because I have 3 angles that make this straight line. If I go over here, I've got a right angle. This forms a straight line, so this has to be right angle as well. This is 51 degrees, so 90 degrees plus 51 degrees is 141 degrees. So 180 minus 141 tells me that the third angle in this triangle is 39 degrees. And I know that 40 plus 39 plus B is equal to 180. So I know that 40 plus 39 is 79 degrees plus B is equal to 180. So I'm going to subtract 79 from both sides. And that tells me that measure of angle B is 101 degrees. Okay, problem number 3. I'm told that angle B is congruent to angle E. Angle C is congruent to angle F. Okay, if I have 2 triangles with 2 angles that are congruent, the third angles must be congruent because there's only one option, since in each triangle it adds to 180 degrees. So that means angle A has to be congruent to angle B. So x plus 50 is equal to 75. All I have to do is subtract 50 from both sides to determine that x is 25 degrees. Problem number 4. I want to find the measure of angle 1. Okay, I know that PQ is parallel to RS. So these 2 angles are vertical angles. I can pick this up and move it down. This is vertical with this. Okay, 1 is not congruent with 75. That means it must be supplementary because the only 2 options are to be congruent or to form a straight line. So 75 plus angle 1, I'll call that x, is equal to 180. If I subtract 75 from both sides, the measure of angle 1 is 105 degrees. Okay, so problem number 5, I have a 25.5 foot ladder that rests against the side of a house at a point 24.1 feet above the ground, and I want to find the length of the ladder. No, I know the length of the ladder. I want to find this measure right here. So I have a right triangle. I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, I know that c squared is 25.5 squared. I know that one of my legs, it doesn't matter whether that's A or B, is 24.1. I'm going to square that. And I'm trying to find the other leg. Okay, so when I punch this in my calculator, I get 580.81 plus A squared is equal to 650.25. I just use my algebra skills to get A squared by itself. So A squared is going to be 69.44. I need to square root both sides to get A by itself. So A is approximately 8.3 feet to 1 decimal place. Or S, 8.3 feet approximately. All right, in number 6, the measure of ECA. ECA is 73 degrees. And the measure of angle ABC is 35 degrees. And I'm trying to find CAB. So I want to find this angle right here. Okay, I know that these 2 angles form a straight line. So 180 minus 73 degrees is 107 degrees. So that means this angle right here is 107. Okay, so I have a triangle right here. So I know that 107 degrees plus 35 degrees plus the measure of angle CAB is equal to 180 degrees. So 107 plus 35 is 142. Plus the measure of angle CAB is equal to 180. So if I subtract 142 from both sides, I learn that the measure of angle CAB is equal to 38 degrees. Okay, number 7, I'm asked what is my congruent statement. So I have two sides that are congruent to one another. I also have two angles that are noted as being congruent to one another. And I need to figure out if there's anything else there. I also have these vertical angles. So I have two angles and a side. Let's see what order that is. It's going to be angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. So it's AAS congruency. Okay, number 8. I know that GE is parallel to DS. I want to find the measure of angle BDC. So I'm trying to find this angle right here. Okay, I know that when I have parallel lines, I can take this. These two are vertical angles. I can move this over here. So this is 140. So this is also 140. I have a triangle right here. I know that triangles add up to 180. So 140 plus 30 plus x equals 180. So 170 plus x equals 180. So that tells me that x is 10 degrees. Okay, problem number 9. In this figure, which triangle is congruent to triangle ABC? So A is 9 centimeters, AB is 9 centimeters, BC is 5 centimeters. So I want to do the same thing down here. So I'm going to do CDA, 9 to 5. So triangle CDA is congruent to triangle ABC. Okay, problem number 10. I'm told that the diagonal of a square is 12 inches, and I want to find the area of said square. So I know that this is 12 inches. I know that every square has 4 right angles. I'm splitting a square along the diagonal, so that means this is going to be 45 degrees, and this is going to be 45 degrees, since 90 divided by 2 is 45. So that means I'm going to have a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So my pattern is x, 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 radical 2. Well, my hypotenuse is 12, so I want to go backwards, and I'm going to have to divide by radical 2 to get back to just x. So 12 divided by radical 2, well, I've got to rationalize that. So I'm going to multiply it by radical 2 over radical 2. Well, that's going to give me 12 radical 2 over 2. Well, I can simplify that. So 12 divided by 2 is 6, so it's going to be 6 radical 2. So that's each side, but I want the area. So I know that the area of a square is length times width. So my area is going to be 6 radical 2 times 6 radical 2. Well, 6 times 6 is 36. Radical 2 times radical 2 is 2. So it's going to be 72 inches squared. Okay, if each spinner is spun once, what is the probability that both spinners show blue? So our probability for the first spinner for blue is 1, 2 out of 6. The probability for the second one is 1 out of 3. So I'm going to multiply those together. And so, okay, actually the probability for the second one is going to be 1/4, since 1/4 of this spinner is blue. So I'm going to multiply those together. It's going to be 2 over 24, which I can simplify to 1 over 12. Okay, if each spinner is spun, what is the probability that both spinners show the same color? So I've got blue, yellow, or red. Okay, blue, I know that's 1/12. Yellow is going to be 1/6 times 1/4, which is 1/24. And red is 3/6. 3 of these are red. times 1/2, since half of this is red, which is 3/12, which gives me 1/4. Now, in order to figure out the probability that any of them are the same color, I'm going to have to add these together. So they all go into 24, so that's 2 24ths plus 1 24th plus, how many 24ths would this be? 6 24ths. So it's going to be 6, 7, 9 24ths total. Okay, number 13. If a spinner is spun once, what is the probability of getting a red-blue combination? So for the first, so if we want red-blue, we're going to have 3 6, since the first one is 3 6 red, and then 1/4, since the second one is 1/4 blue, which is 3 over 24, which is 1/8. Now this question wasn't entirely clear. It doesn't say whether blue-red counts in this case, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. 2 6 times 1/2 is equal to 2/12, which is 1/6. We would need to add those together if we wanted the total. So 6 and 8 both go into 24, so that's 3 24ths plus 4 24ths, which is 7 24ths. Alright, you have 3 yellow pencils, 1 blue pencil, and 2 red pencils. You have 2 red erasers and 1 blue eraser. So if you choose 1 pencil and 1 eraser, what is the probability of getting a red-red combination? It would be 2 6 times 2/3, which gives me 4/18, and I can reduce that to 2 9.